You know, every time I go home to Hawaii, it's pretty interesting. Especially like this last time, you know, when I was gonna go home and get a call at 1 o'clock in the morning and said, your plane has been canceled. Then I made arrangements to go to Scottsbluff, and it's just pure ice. Couldn't hardly even walk to the terminal because of pure ice. And then they canceled the flight before I even booked it. Now get that one, huh? And then they booked me another flight. And the anticipation of going home, just, you know, when I was thinking about this song, Going Home, on how we look forward to the day we're going to go home, but, you know, really, the road that we're on right now is called the road of life. And we have all kinds of problems, all kinds of different things that happen on that road going home. But the thing is, we're confident that we're going to get there. And I finally did arrive home in Hawaii and enjoyed my time there. And then it was time to really come home where home is now for me. And of course, I ran into all kinds of problems with the weather coming home. And some of you remember that I got stuck up in Sharon. They canceled my flight again, and had to have a friend of a friend bring me down from Sharon in the snow, icy roads. But you know, it feels good when you finally arrive home. You guys understand what I'm talking about, right? All of you who have traveled a far distance, and when you finally in the doors and you have arrived at home, what a great feeling that is. And when I think about those that have, since I've pastored the church here, and there's more pictures, but these are the ones that I could find on my computer, of all these people that have gone home, people that have meant something to us, that we've had a relationship with, our friends. And you know, yesterday at the cemetery, and just being able to celebrate a life. Yes, we're going to be sad, and we're going to miss Doyle, because he was such a great guy and such a faithful person. It's sad that we're not going to ever have time with him again on this earth. But we have to look forward to the time when we are going to go home and meet with the loved ones that have gone on before us. In 1 Peter 2, Peter says, "Dear friends, I urge you, as foreigners and exiles, to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul. Live such good lives among the pagans that, though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day He visits us." You know, it's really important that the way we live our lives, okay, is going to affect other people's lives. After Doyle's service, they had a gathering at the Westside Event Center, and then right after that, I went over to Christy Bross service, the memorial service. But you know, while I was over at the event center, this guy came up to me and he says, let's see if we can figure out if you know who I am. And he started talking. And as he was talking, I said, "You're that salesman that my brother met in Oregon." You see, my brother was looking for a car, and I think it's called Roseburg or something in Oregon, and my brother was asked, "Where are you from?" And he said, "Hawaii." And this other guy says, my brother asked him, "Where are you from?" And he says, "Alliance, Nebraska, a small little town. You know, most people don't know where that is." He goes, "I think my brother lives there." he passes a church over there. He says, well, what's the name of the church? Alliance Christian Church. And he says, I used to go to that church. I used to attend that church, and I even sang. He plays guitar and sings, and I think his name was like Daniel Blaha or something like that. And it's kind of neat that, there's all these connections all over the world. And just a few nights ago, I got this thing where, on Facebook it says, so-and-so's birthday, wish him a happy birthday. So this gal just had a birthday, and so I went to a webpage, and I noticed that I have a friend that was, and I told you about him before, I had taken him to a camping trip with all the boys to Kauai, on a camping trip, and I must have told him that, someday you're going to be a youth pastor. And then next thing you know, I find him, and he says that he's a youth pastor over in Oregon. And I says, how do you know Peggy? And he said, well, she is the wife, sister of the wife of the pastor that I used to go to. And I'm thinking, there's all these connections, and I've told you about the connections that I've had, and small world, huh? When you know people that know the Lord, it's really neat. It's really interesting. That no matter where you go, if you talk long enough, you will find somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that you know. And I was thinking about how great it's going to be when we leave this earth and we go home, and we're going to be able to see all of these intertwining connections of people of the family of God. In Revelation, the Apostle John describes this place called home. He says, then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw a holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or mourning, nor crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away, gone. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, write down these things, for these words are trustworthy and true. And he said to me, I am the Alpha and the Omega. The Alpha and Omega, that's the Greek alphabet, the A and the Z of the Greek alphabet. I am the beginning and the end. And a lot of times people get confused about this. Well, because in our human finite minds we think, well, there's a beginning, so you start here, and there's an end, and it ends there. But basically, Jesus is saying that I am infinite. Really, he's saying there's no beginning for me and there is no end for me. I always existed. To the thirsty, I will give water without cost, from the spring of the water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexual immoral, and those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulfur, the second death. Now that's kind of a downer, huh? After painting the picture of what heaven is like, and saying that this is a great place reserved for those who have trusted the Lord, And now he talks about this place that we know as hell. And a lot of people don't want to talk about hell. Why don't they want to talk about hell? I mean, a lot of people kind of want to throw out that part in the Bible, right? Nobody wants to talk about a place where there's eternal suffering as opposed to a place where there is no suffering. The worst of all is this place called hell. The worst thing is there is an absence of Almighty God. Now, if you think today is pretty bad with all the crime and all the things that are going bad right now, wait till you see a place where there is no God and see what happens. Can you imagine what that place is going to be like? In 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, the Apostle Paul says, "For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built with human hands. Meanwhile, we grow longing to be clothed instead with our heavenly dwelling, because when we are clothed, we will not be found naked. For while we are in this tent, we groan in our burden, because we do not wish to be unclothed, but to be clothed instead with our heavenly dwelling, so that what is mortal may be swallowed up by life. And now the one who has fashioned us for this very purpose is God, who has given us the Spirit as a deposit, guaranteeing what is to come." Now, you all been to the bank before and made a deposit, and then when you get or make your deposit, you get a receipt from the bank. Unless you're doing everything electronically, of course, you can print or store that information on your computer, right? It is a deposit, guaranteeing that you made that deposit, and the Spirit is there to let you know that your place in heaven is secure if you have given your life to the Lord. Therefore, we are always confident and know that as long as we are at home in this body, we are away from home with the Lord. It's almost like this situation with me being away from home, Hawaii, but here in Alliance, home. Yeah, I would probably rather be in Hawaii enjoying the nice warm weather when it's 50 below zero, right? But can you imagine the difference between we're home here and we can have joy in the Lord here on this earth? And again, I say, when does eternal life begin? It doesn't, too many people are looking for eternal life as sometime in the future that we're going to be, when we get home, heaven, that we will have eternal life. No, the moment you give your life to the Lord, you're with Jesus. You have life. He says, "I come to give you life, an abundant life." And your eternity begins. Because as long as Jesus is with you, you are really at home. For we live by faith, not by sight. We are confident, I say, and would prefer to be away from the body and at home with the Lord. So we make it our goal to please Him, whether we are at home in the body or away from it. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each of us may receive what is due for us, the things done while in the body, whether good or bad. We're all going to receive what is due to us. And if we are sowing the seeds of goodness and kindness and the fruit of the Spirit, then when we go home, that's what we're going to receive. We're going to receive God in the fullness. Philippians 3. The Apostle Paul says, I want to know Christ. I want to know. This word know is not just, oh, I know Jesus Christ, and I know he died for me and all this. But this is a knowledge that is intimate. Just like in a husband-wife relationship. And again, God created the family and the husband and wife relationship to show what kind of love he has and this intimate, personal relationship with us. You know each other. In fact, the more you're with that person, the more you are in tune with, and sometimes you understand before that person even speaks what they're going to say. You know what I'm talking about? To know the power of his resurrection and participating in his suffering, becoming like him in his death, and somehow attaining to the resurrection from the dead. Not that I have already obtained all of this or have already arrived at my goal, but I press on and to take hold of that for which Christ took hold of me. Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. Have you arrived? How many of you have maybe thought, wow, I've arrived. I've done all the good things. I've done this. That's why the Pharisees, they say, okay, what else I have to do, right? I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And Jesus says, well, what does the Bible say, right? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and your strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. I'm giving you a list. This is what you need to do. And he says, well, I did all this stuff, right? He says, okay, let's see. Prove it. Go sell everything that you have and give it to the poor and follow me. And what does it say? That he turned around, probably put his head down, and walked away. Because really, was he loving the Lord, his God, with everything he had? Was he loving his neighbor as much as he loved himself? And so the whole Christian life, the whole walk home, and what I'm speaking about is this journey of life leads us home. Has to be one that is pleasing to the Lord. And we strive daily to become more like him. We can never give up. We can never give up trying to be conformed into the image of Christ. You cannot say, I have arrived. Because the day you say, I've arrived, you've messed up. It's just like pride goes before the fall. You can never be good enough. You must always strive for that perfection. It says, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus. And the picture that I'm getting is like a weightlifter. How many of you have watched somebody lift weights? It seems like they're at their maximum strength. Doing that, lifting. Pretty soon they get this urge, he said, put one more on. And then he goes over there with all his
puts all his strength together and he goes